June 23, 2024. In the real world and in the spirit world. Judgment for USA and Russia and China and India. In the spirit world their Russia dragon have many son and daughter. 1. Estonia. 2. Latvia. 3. Lithuania. 4. Belarus. 5. Ukraine. 6. Moldova. 7. Georgia. 8. Armenia. 9. Azerbaijan. 10. Kazakhstan. 11. Uzbekistan. 12. Turkmenistan. 13. Tajikistan. 14. Kyrgyzstan. In the spirit world, these 14 countries are the sons and daughters-in-law and daughters and sons-in-law of the Russian dragon. In the spirit world, the Russian dragon has many children in the world. Belarus is the first son, Ukraine is the youngest son. The Russian dragon sons and daughters have all married. The parents have ensured that each has a partner and a family, and a life of their own now. Each now has their own home and is the master of their own house. Each has their own life to live now, however, whoever betrays the trust and loyalty of the parents, then the parents will take everything back. Everything a child has is because of his or her parents. Without a child's parents, that child would not have all that he has. It is the parents that help the child to have a better life, not those from outside the family. The oldest son and his wife are the ones most loyal to his parents. They are the ones that loves and gives the most respect to his parents. He shows loyalty, love and honors his parents the most. The youngest son is immature and doesn't know much. He can't even tell in which direction the stench is coming from. That is why he has broken away from his parents and shows great disrespect towards them. It is he, the youngest son, that has stirred up trouble and caused numerous conflicts for his parents. On the other hand, the Ukrainian dragon's granddaughter, who was very young, does not want to leave her grandparents. As her parents tried to take her away from her grandparents, the granddaughter goes into a seizure-like attack, yells out crying hysterically against being taken away from her grandparents. This was a problem where she did not want to go with her parents. This happened several times. In the spirit world, the American dragon has 2 children. Alaska is the son and daughter-in-law. Hawaii is the daughter and son-in-law. In the spirit world, the Chinese dragon has 2 children, Hong Kongese the daughter and son-in-law. Taiwan is the son and daughter-in-law. In the spirit world, the Indian dragon has 2 children. Sri Lanka is the son and daughter-in-law. The Maldives is the daughter and son-in-law. In all of history, it has always been that the younger generation came from the older generation. The older dragon gives birth to the next generation of dragons. The bigger land divides into smaller pieces of land. The smaller plot of land came from the bigger plot and is right next to the larger plot. This tells us that the smaller piece of land belongs to the bigger piece of land, it was a part of it, and it came from the bigger piece of land. One should know this to be true. One should recognize that truth is truth. That is how life should be and how one must live life. To know is not enough. Both the heart and mind must acknowledge these simple truths and live life based on truth and righteousness. That is how God intended us to live when He created the heavens and the earth and placed humans on it. Living life based on simple truths and doing what is right will lead to peace and do away with war and conflict. My son, don't think that you are smarter than those who came before you and that it is okay to be crooked and evil. Being evil and straying from the simple truths will surely lead to your doom and eventually, your downfall. My son, straying from the path of truth and righteousness, will definitely be your undoing for sure. Son, today, I tell you this, even if you are the best, brightest and most powerful on earth, if you stray from the truth and from doing what is right, no one on earth will follow you. No one will respect you and you will not rule over the earth. There will be no peace. Son, if you throw away what is true and right, and use evil and crookedness to win the world, what about bring peace and goodness to the world? Bringing about peace and goodness to the world through evil means is as impossible as bringing immortality to man. Going forward, life may bless some with only a few sons, daughters, and in-laws. Yet, others may be blessed with many sons, daughters, and in-laws. As we age and grow older, there will be a multitude of people in the world, however, only 4 to 5 will be blessed. Only these few will be famous, known, respected and revered throughout the world. As we grow older, I will grow older and gray. I will have many sons and daughters. I will have many daughters-in-law and sons-in-laws. You will grow older and have many sons and daughters as well. You too will have many sons-in-law and daughters-in-law. It is only right that I don't try to claim your children as my own. It is only right that I don't try to convince them to betray you. I should not tell them to turn their backs on you. I should not try to make them leave you or cause problems for you. I should not provide them with the means to destroy you in order to get them to come to my side. By the same token, you should not try to make my children yours. Nor should you give them ideas and try to convince them to leave me and betray me. You should not entice them with gifts and sweet words to make them turn their backs on me. And you should definitely not provide them with weapons and ammunition and help them to destroy me. We are all grown men and not children anymore. Whatever we say and do, we must tell the truth and do what is right and just. Anything other than that is unacceptable. As we grow older, we must consider the future. We must set an example for those that come after us to follow. We must do what is right and just. Live life by these simple truths and be a shining example to our children to follow. We reap what we sow. We must try and build a better world and set a better example so that our children can live in peace when we are gone. Having lived a full life, we have had plenty to eat, we were well fed and clothed. We were well off financially and lived a good life. We've seen and experienced plenty of good as well as plenty of bad in the world. We have had opportunities to learn and grow. We've known love and kindness. Did we not learn to love and respect one another? In all our life experience, the things we've seen, learned, and experienced, should help us to stay on the right path. To do things correctly and justly. In times of crisis and conflict, we need to intervene early, before the problem gets too bad. In times of trouble, we must do what is right and justly intervene to try to make a better world. An example of doing what is right is if my son or my good friend has committed a wrong and the punishment is severe, the right thing to do is to let them face their punishment. We should not intervene to save them from that punishment or natural consequence. Likewise, if it is your son or your friend that has committed a grievous act and the punishment is severe, let them face their consequences. You should not intervene to keep them from that punishment. If my son or my friend has committed a crime and should be jailed and imprisoned, then let them be jailed and imprisoned. I should not interfere with what is right and just. The same goes for if your son or friend has committed a crime befitting prison as a punishment, he should be imprisoned. You should not interfere and try to save them from facing his consequences. If we can't abide by this principle of doing what is right and non-interference, then there is no point in having alliances, committees and conferences. Having agreements and accords would be useless as they would not be honored. In the end, these would be the things that would lead us to have more conflicts, more wars and disagreements. They say, as we grow older, we should be wiser. We should be wise enough to follow what is right and do what is just. In order to avoid conflicts and disagreements, avoid wars, and help bring about a more peaceful world, we just need to follow this simple principle. Do what is right and don't interfere in others' affairs. As a respected and well-known person in this world, it is not becoming of me to say bad things about you. It is not becoming for me to be conniving and crooked with you. It is not becoming for me to make you an enemy. Likewise, you, being well known and respected in the world, should not talk badly about me. You should not behave like a backstabbing and crooked person towards me. It is unbecoming of you to make me your enemy. Following this principle, I should teach and help my people to live right and act justly. I should help them to follow the right path instead of straying from it. You should also teach and help your people to follow these same principles, do what is right, don't interfere with others' affairs, act justly. I have lived a long life, grown old and gray. You as well. I must love and care for my people accordingly. I must be straight and truthful with every one of them, no matter what race, ethnicity, sex, religion and such. I must always treat them with respect and never mistreat them in any way. So must you. You must love and treat your people with respect, no matter their race, sex, religion, or any other differences. You must never mistreat them or alienate them in any way. Before I have any business or interaction with one of your people beyond a personal level, I should consult with you and inform you that I am having this business relationship with one of your people. I should not go and conduct business underhandedly like a thief in the night. You and I will come to an agreement on how I am to conduct my business with one of your people. And you, if you are to conduct business with one of my people or have any business interaction with them, you must show respect to me and inform me first. You should not go behind my back and conduct business with one of my people like a thief in the night. We must have an agreement on how that business will be conducted. We are not children anymore. We are grown men and must act like it. We should not be jealous of one another. If we are straight and honest with one another, if I happen to do better, don't be jealous. Be supportive of me and let the world know that I am a good person and an honest businessman. Help me to grow and do even better. If you happen to do better than me, I should not be jealous and try to ruin you. I should be supportive and give you great recommendations to the rest of the world so they will know you are a good and honest businessman, so you can grow and do better. We build relationships, whether it is personal or business. We don't go into a relationship just for today. It is a long-term investment that we must have in each other. We want it to last a lifetime. One must build relationships not just for today but for generations to come. From one generation to the next, we must nurture it, so it continues to grow. If one goes into a relationship with good intentions, one is open and honest with one another, continue to show respect and loyalty to one another. Only if we are ready to be committed to one another should we enter a relationship. Otherwise, don't even start. Cut ties. There is no need to come together and meet and discuss if the intentions are not true and you have other motives. Any relationship built on lies and ill intentions would have no meaning. In building relationships, whether it's friendship or business, whether it's personal or family, it must begin with good intentions. It must be pure and based on honesty and trust. Otherwise, the relationship will fail and not last. It may even become toxic. So, it's better not to even start. One must know the correct way to build a relationship to start one. If you don't know the correct way to build and make it last, then you should never start one. You should just stick with your own family, your own people. You should just stick to your own part of the world. The same goes for being a leader. If you know how to lead correctly, then you can try. If you don't know and your only intention is being in it for power and for yourself and not your people, then it's not for you. You would not make a good leader. To be a good leader of a nation or of a people, the leader cannot just make empty promises. He must think carefully before acting. He cannot talk badly off other nations or other people. He cannot make unjustified accusations, nor can he mistreat people. He cannot single out a group or specific people and mistreat them and discriminate against them. Actions and words have meaning, thus, they have consequences, good or bad. As karma would have it, a bad leader who does all these things will only bring about ruin and disaster for his people. He will be the cause of his people's downfall and misery. His people or his country will pay for his actions. As a leader, there are customs and etiquette that must be followed. There are guidelines and laws and regulations that must be followed. In speaking with other leaders, one must follow these guidelines. One must operate within these guidelines only and not go beyond them. There are guidelines to follow when you have something negative to say. One must still follow the proper custom and show proper etiquette, even when saying something negative. If you don't know the proper etiquette, then don't say anything negative. The leader of a people or a nation is directly responsible for his people. Any action or inaction he takes or not take will either have a positive or negative effect on himself and his people. If a leader is not just, if his intentions are not true and his actions and words are like that of a thief in the night, he will bring ruin to his people. A leader should not talk bad about others. He cannot call people names and treat others badly. If someone is guilty of something, only speak about that, only punish them accordingly and not beyond that. Only address the issue. A leader cannot be backhanded. He cannot act like a thief or a thug. He cannot disregard common etiquette and the rule of law. He must follow etiquette and abide by agreements and laws. He cannot just do whatever he thinks and wants. As an example, if two powerful dragons are similar in power and strength disagree and have a dispute and begin to fight, their fight will bring death and destruction to anything close and nearby. When they fight, their fight will be all over the mountains, valleys, and the land. They will level mountains, destroy valleys and ruin crops and inadvertently kill innocent bystanders. Just like the two dragons, when two powerful countries have a dispute and go to war, their war will bring death and destruction to the land and the people. Their war machines, their rockets, bombs, guns and soldiers will destroy the land and kill innocent civilians. We are the ones in the middle. We must only have good intentions and be just and honest. In our dealings with those in the conflict, we must not take sides. We must act so that both sides can see that we are not taking sides. We cannot take sides and blatantly act to benefit one side or the other or ourselves only. Only by being an impartial third party, can we do what is right. In this way, we will not bring ruin and destruction to our lands and our people. Just like three tenants living in a 3-story apartment, we live in the middle apartment. We must be quiet and not raise a ruckus. We can pound on the ceiling or the floor. We can't just yell and scream however we feel like it. We know there are those above and those below. We must try to live peacefully with both. In life, if there are disagreements, disputes and conflicts, in order to bring about peace, we must start deep in our bones, in our hearts. It's not just fixing the outside, making it look good. It won't last 3 days if we are only worried about the superficial surface and not concerned about the core of our being. We are all experienced and educated. Why do we educate ourselves? Why do we try to learn from our experiences? We educate ourselves and learn from our experiences so that we can help make the world a better place. We educate ourselves to compete with others. We didn't learn and grow to use our knowledge and experience to cause trouble and bring more conflict to the world. We didn't work on bettering ourselves to make more enemies and bring destruction to the world. Think carefully, my son. You have lived a good life. You've had plenty to eat, never have had to wear torn and tattered clothing, you've had education, earned a great deal of money and wealth. You've led your nation and your name and reputation has been heard and praised all over the world. Why would you stray from the path of righteousness and just? Why? What's left for you to gain that you haven't gained? The children in the South China Sea are grandchildren of Chinese dragons. In the spirit world, one of the small islands was ruled by a grandson and granddaughter of the Chinese dragons. They were very young, only 6 to 7 years old. A typical teen dragon would be around 360 years old. The lifespan of a typical dragon is about 1,120 years. My son, the prophet has said much, let it not be a waste of good advice and good words. Let's not regret having not followed the good advice of a prophet. Sincerely. View Pao Xiong, the Savior. This picture take with my mother in Longcheng. Xiang Kuang. Laos, Asia. December 1970. This picture take with my Thai sister in Nong Khai, Thailand. Asia 1975. This picture take in Camp Refugee, Vinai, Loei, Thailand. Asia 1980. This picture was taken on June 12, 2001 during a time I was writing the words of Message of God. This picture show that he is a person in the message of God. This picture indicates that your eyes can see far and wide. This includes seeing into the new world and beyond. Worlds that you can only hear about but have never seen. This picture shows that on December 1st at 7 a.m. in the morning, there are many beautifully dressed individuals present as the Savior returns to heaven. This picture was taken shortly as the Savior is leaving. The third picture of the message of God. Drawn by Adon in Chiang Mai, Thailand. Asia. July 1, 2003. This picture shows that as the Savior is leaving, he frequently stops by individuals on the side of the road to talk and give out gifts for them to treasure for life. This picture indicates that the one who cherished Thai people long ago returned. He waited outside for 5 days and 5 nights without being welcomed. He then left to go elsewhere. This picture shows that the Savior returned to the Thai people reminiscing old times. This picture shows that the Savior returned to the Lao people with love for those that are unfortunate and deprived. This picture shows that in the year 2010, God sent a message to an American couple in government asking if they wished to govern the world. This picture shows that the Savior turned to the American people to discuss about their desire to live in heaven. This picture shows the Savior with the Hmong people discussing their disparities and sorrows. This picture shows the Savior with the Yao people discussing love among others in the world. This picture shows that all the people has sent the Savior to the center of the earth. This picture shows the Savior holding court to uphold fairness and balance for the people in the world. This picture is an example that God Day 1-1. New Year. This picture shows after the court sessions have been held, the Savior did not return to earth with the people. This picture is an example that God Night 1. New Year. Picture shows the unlimited and meaningful love of God and that it extends wide and fair to all in the world for New Year celebrations. This picture shows that in each new generation, there is a new Savior. There are many differences in each generation such as cultural practices, diversity in thoughts and behaviors, fashion and jobs. This picture shows that the land for the new year celebration granted by God for the party should be at least 1 mile radius. Preferably 3-mile radius if small. If large, 10-mile radius. The center of the party should be 1 to 2 miles. Within these 1 to 2 miles, it is full of people with standing room only. I printed 300 copies of the Message God in September 2007. I sent out the message to all governments of the world and scheduled with them for God's first day. Sent this picture book of the Message of God to Thai King in 2007. Sent this picture book The Message of God to President Obama at the White House in Washington, D.C. on December 1, 2009. Sent these 2 picture books with God's message to the President of China and the President of North Korea in December 1, 2009. This picture show that the Savior has already Scheduled the past 5 years time the all governments and people of the world. The person who will receive the world to govern will go on to surpass democratic and communist laws. Looking for a bad person is easy because they're everywhere. Looking for a good person is hard. You will have to pack your bags and travel a long distance. An unholy person must be punished before the new world is created. The one who will receive the world to govern is like the ruler of the heavens has come down to earth. The one who oppresses and tyrannizes others will lose, and will not be able to receive the world to govern. The one who is good and humble who accepts the message of God and opens the door for the Savior. He will be the one to receive the world as his and as his name. When a person becomes elderly eventually they will die and head towards reincarnation. When the world becomes too crowded, filled with people, things must change. When there are many people who are arrogant then the Savior will come to call and schedule. If there is no one who will become the ruler of the world, to lead and rule the world and all its people, then everything will be destroyed. Everything will go bad. Everything will perish. Son, the one who receives the world to govern. His currency will be worth more than all the currencies of the world and will be above all. The person who is arrogant, domineering, and is not afraid will be the one to lose in the end and lose face. The person, or government, who does not know the plan to governing the world will not be able to govern the world. They will not be able to fix the world. The world will not be peaceful. The person who will have the world to govern, his law is the real law of adults. Whoever will receive the world to govern will receive it the day that he learns to use the law of adults. The one who receives the world to govern, his life will go beyond the riches and fortunes of the world. Son, the one who received the world to govern. All the people of the world will be his children. The one who will receive the world to govern, will live life past the old life into the new life. He will go and create everything new. Son, the one who receives the world to govern, he will have 2 types of currencies. Son, when the one who deserves to govern the world receives the world, no one else in the world will have gun, battleship, fighter jets and soldiers, only he will have all of these. All the guns, battleships, fighter jets, and soldier in the world, no matter where they are, will belong to him. Son, do you like this? If you don't, then thank you very much. If you are truly interested and like this, then and only then will I tell you very thing. Son, the one who receives the world to govern. He receives it from the love for the message of God. He will immediately recognize and grab hold of the message of God. Son, the one who will receive the world to govern will have to live in the place where in the past God lived. The place that God lived is very clean and new. The one who will receive the world to govern, his law are pure, clear, and at the highest level. The person who will receive the world to govern will no longer race with others for silver and gold. He will no longer race for riches because he will already be the ruler of the world. He is father and mother to all the people of the world. The person who will receive the world to govern is because God will give him the world. He has received permission from God. The government that will receive the world to govern, there will never be people carrying signs to protest against him for the rest of his life. The law for being the government who will receive the world to govern is to live well and peacefully like living in heaven. The person who will receive the world to govern, his currency will have more value than any other because it will be the mother and father currency, the currency of adults. The currencies of the rest of the world will be son and daughter currencies, or children currencies. The one who will receive the world to govern, his people will always be busy with work to do. No one will be idling around senselessly for anyone to see. The one who will receive the world to govern, his people, no matter if they are men, women, young, old, smart, or dumb, everyone will have jobs and work to do. They will all have a monthly paycheck. The one who will receive the world to govern will live life beyond having money and gold, wealth and knowledge, and everything in the world. He will live life very close to God. the one who will receive the world to govern will surpass his current reputation and gain a new reputation and power. He will have new talents and scholarships. He will have a new government and new laws. He will have new military. He will have new silver and gold. He will have new homes and new cities. Everything he will have will be new. The person who will receive the world to govern will no longer desire gold with anyone because he will have already far surpassed those desires of silver and gold. My son, do you think this far? God's new world great, very big, very wide, very sturdy. God's new world, the water and land have treasures of silver and gold. It has. Does a bridge not exist to cross where there is a big body of water? In this world, is there a righteous person who will accept the message of God in God's New Year celebration? To call upon the people of the world to come take part and celebrate in the first day to the seventh day of God's New Year? The one who receives the world, he will be the ruler of the world. Everything on the earth will be his. Son, do you want it? Is there anyone in this world who wants to rule the world and to have the world call his name? The ruler will own all the waters of the world and he will be the ruler of everyone. Everyone will speak and write his language and follow his rules. He will be ruler of the world. Whatever he likes and says, everyone will follow his commands. No one will be able to disobey him. There will be no war, only peace. Son, is this what you want? 63. Son, the one who will receive the world to govern his people will only have white people. No one is black. Son, the one who will receive the world to govern his people will only have white people. No one is black. Bring the green cloth to come match the red cloth. The person who loves the message of God will be welcome to the new world. You disown God, you do the same thing and remain in the same place. God disown you, God will have new children. When clear waters are mixed with dirty waters, it will no longer be clear. The Savior will not have hope in the one who has a bad and wicked heart. The one who will receive the world to govern, he will work endlessly day and night for the people of the world. The one who will receive the world to govern will work very hard and will be able to sit idly for one day or even for a short while. He will work as hard as two parents work to be able to feed their children. The one who will receive the world to govern. God will teach him to make a uniform to wear to govern the world. The person who will receive the world to govern is not attained through fighting in wars. It is not attained from overtaking with guns and knives. When there is one person that governs or rules the world, all current monetary systems become obsolete. The whole world will only use one monetary system that is dictated by the one who governs the world. The one who will receive the world to govern, he and his race will never have to fight and compete with other races for silver and gold, land and water, businesses, food and drink, because he and his race are already the ruler of the world. The one who received the world to govern will be in Asia in the northern hemisphere. Son, will you be the one to receive the world to govern, or will you be the one who falls and not receive the world to govern? The decision is yours to make. The person with a black and wicked heart, he speaks and treats the Savior badly. Once it is past the year 2000, his lineage will cease to progress and degenerate. The muddy water cannot mix with the clear water. The person who is evil and deceitful will not be able to live in the new world. The new world is Hmong world. Hmong world is the new world. The person who always planned to oppress, or does oppress the people of the world. That person will fall and will not govern the world. God will throw him away. The person who does not see the value of the message of God, who thinks it is not important, who does not love the message of God, who turns away from the message of God, who does not open the way and welcome the message of God. He will regret it very much. He will cry and no tears will come out. The person who will receive the world to govern will no longer desire gold with anyone because he will have already far surpassed those desires of silver and gold. My son, do you think this far? The person who will not receive the world to govern is because he has done many bad and disgusting things in the world that does not please God's heart. The one who the Savior has lost hope in will soon become the servant. He will lose his country. The good person will continue to live on into the new world. The bad person will burn with the old world. The way of life is what you decide. The visionary is the scribe. The Savior is the one who comes and judges people of the world. This event has been discussed for 14 years to be held in Thailand, but it has not been successful. I wish to change to a new place, a new country. I wish to hold this even in a country that is more receptive. Can you open this celebration for me soon, 2025 to 2026? Email viewpakshang@hotmail.com. If you visit the Message of God in YouTube, enter this name. 1. The Message of God by Xiong Ka Vang. 2. Message to End War. The Savior. 3. Message to End War. View Xiong. View Pao Xiong Phone. 7639107180. 175 Charles Avenue No. 233. St. Paul, Minnesota, 55103 USA.